Hey guys, Northern Zuby here with another quick informational video for you guys. I'm going to start off by saying these videos are not made to get a bunch of views. Simply just a guy who I find slightly handy. A lot of guys tell me I should share this with you guys. So at the end of the day, it's an informational video. If you have any questions about it, just ask me in the comments. This is a fun build for me. I had a lot of fun doing it. Really proud of it. So let's go. Alrighty guys, so we got the nice Subaru here, WRX 2017. Got a few mods, but the main video I'm going to show you guys today got a new sub install, molded nicely in there. Got the 2 kicker comp bars. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn the music off real quick so I can explain to you what's so basically I'm gonna have a little slideshow for you guys, but started off by taping off the entire inside of the trunk, and from there I was able to, behind here, I was able to mold the inside shape of the sub. There's thousands of YouTube videos explaining how to do this, so I didn't take the time to actually have a full video of me doing all the work. It was done during whenever I had spare time at the end of the night, in between work and whatnot. So I'm about maybe a month into my build now. I'm all done. This is all, like I said, at night. I'd put in a couple hours here, a couple hours there, weekend here and there. So I did go with the color match, as you guys could tell. That's the I forget what kind of silver it is, but it's the OEM color that matches the car. Really nice. I got the kicker comp bars with the red stitching, and looks really good. I'll show you guys here. It actually matches the steering wheel. All my stitching inside the car, real nice. I like that quite a bit. So back to the subs. Like I said, tape the inside. Once I had the main shape done inside of the car, the whole inside, then from there I cut it out to the shape I wanted, and then I draped the flannel sheet over top of the mold. So basically your inside mold, I made a ring. So the shape you see here is actually, there's a ring of MDF inside here, as well as the base on the bottom. So the MDF really gave me the shape of the ring. I still had to go over with body filler and still, recreate that shape a little bit when I was all, the more you add, the more you lose the shape. Then you kind of got to go back and figure it out and kind of find it again. And making them identical was a challenge, let me tell you, but I'm really satisfied. As you guys can tell, I still have plenty of trunk space. All my amp and stuff's all mounted on the back of the seat. I'll show you guys that in just a sec. So basically, once you got your MDF ring mounted on there with some kind of support or whatever, you can go ahead and you drop your flannel sheet over top of it. I should say drape the flannel sheet over top of it, and I had held it with like a gear clamp, or sorry, a ratchet clamp, but tuck tape works good to keep it tight. I used some of that too to just make sure that I didn't have any creases or anything. So you soak that with fiberglass resin. Once you soak it with fiberglass resin, then you get your basic shape, your rigid shape, I should say, because once you put the flannel sheet on it, you get your shape regardless. So basically, after that, I kept adding fiberglass, did the seams on the inside, so all this inside here, reinforced it, reinforced the seams, so that way we got a good solid box, no weak spots whatsoever. So I did about 4 layers of fiberglass mat, and just the regular thickness, I forget what gauge it is. Basically, these are actually tied down from the one clip in the corner down here. There's a regular clip that you just usually holds your liner in, but I drilled that out. Try to find a picture of that as well, and I bought like it's like a threaded insert with 2 holes for the rivet, and drilled it out a little bit bigger. Use that threaded insert with a bolt holding it in, and they're nice and solid in there. They don't move whatsoever. You know, they're nice and tight. So that's basically the main portion of building it. From that point on, it's just body work and a whole lot of patience, you know, priming, finishing, all that shit, shaping it. So yeah, so basically I'm just running 2 Kicker Comp Rs. They're 400 RMS a piece, and then I have the Kicker, it's the KX 800 watt amp. So it's a really nice amp setup. That's a cheap Amazon capacitor. Not too fond of it. It's not working anymore. I only had it for like a month or so, and the LED display doesn't work on it anymore. It still does the capacity. I tested it with my multimeter. So it's doing its job as a capacitor. It's just no longer reading me my voltage. But as you guys could maybe tell, that's actually sitting on a piece of Lexan. So basically, like I said, I was trying to find the most clean way of doing it and the less invasive way of doing it. I got a couple bolts down there and there. Those are just basically for show, just to kind of, I like the way that looks like it's sturdy. But if you'll see here, this not really holding anything down. They're just stuck in the carpet a little bit. But yeah, I got everything all tie wrapped nice and tight. Got no wires moving around. It's all nice and clean. The only other way of achieving this type of cleanliness is to actually take an X-Acto knife and cut the mat and tie wrap through the mat. I've done that in the past in other installs. I don't particularly like the way of doing it because it tears up your whole seat. It just ends up looking like shit after a couple months. Especially, you know, bringing up the seat, bringing back down the seat. It really doesn't do well with the play. This here is extremely solid. I've got this Kicker sticker made nice to match this guy here. You know, so that way, whenever I show people my sub, it kind of gives it a little bit more of a nice look when they take a look at my amp. But other than that, I do have one more thing that's exclusive to this amp, and it really helped me in my sub installation since I am running a high-low converter off the stock deck. As you guys can tell, I still have the stock deck here, McDonald's cup right there. But we zoom in here, I got myself, take the sunglasses out there, got myself a nice little bass control. So this is fully wireless. This is exclusive to the new KX amplifiers. So as you can tell, this is my gain here. Turn it up, turn it down, completely adjust the bass. So right now I have the gain set a little high for regular music, but I can kind of turn it down, and some songs are quieter than others, so I turn it back up. This here is basically additional bass. It actually synthesizes bass in with the music. So if some songs like older music, older hip hop, stuff like that, don't have enough or enough bass to really get your good sub noise or sub sound out of it, I should say. I'm not any professional or anything when it comes to audio, but I've noticed that it does make a difference when you crank this setting here, as well as you could change the phase right from it, so you get your more of a crisp sub where you need it, crisp bass I should say, where you need it inside of the car. So that allows you to hear it better, from what I understand, in the driver's seat. You're basically changing the wavelengths, so that way, I guess from 180 degrees, from what I understand. So anyway, the next setting I have on this here, and there's plenty of videos that you could look this exact remote up, is also a clip meter. So if ever I were to blast my subs to a point where it's making some damage, I'd be able to tell with the clip meter, which I like a lot. So basically right now it's just on a magnet, so I could mount it right there, get nice clean bass, or I could use that for my cell phone, which I do most of the time, and mount it back down here, out of the way, out of sight, out of mind, nice and clean. But yeah, other than that, for the most part, that's my sub install. Like I said, I'm going to have a whole slideshow for you guys. Really satisfied with the outcome of these guys. If you have any questions or you know, any concerns, any interests, if you're willing to do the build, I 100% encourage you do it. You know, you're gonna be satisfied with the work you put in. In the long run, it really does pay off. I like it. They're loud, they're nice, and they sound clean. Another thing I didn't mention it earlier, but I bought this. It's a boom mat spray. It's basically like Dynamat in a can, and it's designed to do like seams and stuff. If you're doing a whole car in Dynamat, you want a seam in between the layers. Basically, you could spray it with that. So I might be able to pull this out tad. Not really, no. It's too tight in there. So basically, I sprayed the whole inside of the box entirely and the whole back side of the box. I have pictures of that. I'll put it in the slideshow, just to try to prevent any rattling. Because people say if you don't go as thick as 4 layers, you might get a bit of you know, resonance, I should say, within your box, and it's going to steal your bass. So doing that, it's kind of overkill. But for what I understand, it really did help the quality in the sound. There's no rattle. It's very, very clean bass. Everybody gets in my car says, wow, man, your bass is clean. It's not crazy loud because they're sealed boxes, and they're also in the trunk. You know, get, you know, what you would typically get from a ported box, from a sealed enclosure. But these subs put out more than enough of what I need in my car. It shakes the shit out of my car. So it's kind of overkill to begin with, but you know, I love it. 210s, as you guys could tell. Yeah, so that's basically what I got going on for this car here. I got multiple other mods to share with you guys. That was my main one. I'm planning on doing the 4-door kicker speakers the next, because my subs just stumped my speakers. As anybody would know, they suck. The Subaru speakers just suck. But yeah, other than that, it's you know, it's really been a pleasure to make this video, and like, my editing skills are not really good. So, you know, I apologize for anything like that. Purely informational videos. That's all I'm really looking for. Yeah, so if you have any questions, like I said, just mention them in the comments down below. And yeah, just have a good night. Take care.